In this video clip, I'm going to show you how to tie a knot when hand stitching. So at the start of hand stitching, you need a knot to secure the thread into your fabric. So there's multiple different types of needles. You're just going to find the one that's right for your project. So when you put thread through the needle, you can do it by just looking and putting the thread through. So I like to, before putting the thread through the needle, I like to cut the end to make it nice and sharp so there's no fraying edges. You can also moisten the end, and then you're looking at the needle at eye level, pushing the thread through. So if you have troubles getting the thread through the needle, another thing that you can use is a needle threader. There's different types. This is the one that I usually use. And again, if you look at eye level and you put the needle threader through the needle, you can put the thread through the needle threader and then slide the needle threader out. And there's also this type of needle threader. This one works better if you have a thicker needle. So just find a needle threader that can fit through the eye or the hole on your needle. Alright, so I'm going to sew with 2 strands of thread, and I like to sew with thread that's about the length of my arm. So if you have the thread the length of your arm, you're going to be able to sew for a little while without having to stop and tie a knot again and rethread your needle. So now I'm going to show you how to tie the knot. So make sure your ends are even. If you are right-handed, you're going to hold the needle in your left hand. If you're left-handed, you're going to do it the opposite to what I'm going to demonstrate. So after you have the needle in your left hand, and you're going to take the ends of your thread and place them on top so it's making the letter T or the shape of a cross. Then you're going to put your left hand just in place to hold the cross. You're going to grab the lower thread, the long thread, not the short tails, the long thread, and you're going to start wrapping it tightly around the needle. I usually do this 4 or 5 times, and once it's wrapped tightly around the needle, you're going to push it down into your left hand, and then you're going to continue to pinch with your left hand, and you're pulling the needle out with your right hand. And you're going to slowly pull it out and keep pinching with your left. And at the end of the thread, you will get a knot. Then you can cut the excess thread after the knot, and there's your little knot. Then you can test to see if your knot is big enough, and will hold by putting it through your fabric. So from the right side to the wrong side of the fabric, you're going to give it a pull. And if the knot securely holds, then you've done a good job. If your knot slips through, then you need to tie your knot a little bit bigger. So in order to tie your knot a little bit bigger, again, you repeat the same process, making the letter T or a cross, and wrapping the long tail, not the short tail, the long tail. And instead of wrapping it 4 or 5 times, you can wrap it a couple extra times. The more times you wrap your needle, the larger the knot you're going to get. So wrapping it, holding it with your left, continue to pinch with your left, and slowly pull with your right. And there I have, again, another knot that's slightly larger than the last one that I just did. So that is how you tie a knot when you are starting to hand stitch.